I was in the city of Lagos some years ago to greet a friend, and he's a pastor, and I was about leaving for the airport, and he said on the way to the airport, said, can we stop over at a member's place who's dedicating at naming a child, so you just pray and all that. I said, but do I have to? He said, please just let's just pass by. It's on the way to the airport. So we decided to stop by. It was a place called Lagos, and as we stopped by, I went with him. I had no role to play. Let me just stop by. He names the baby, prays, and walks away. But while I was there was a problem.
Welcome, my cherished viewers, once again to my channel. And in this video, Apostle Johnson explained how 3 women were planning and trying to steal the glory of a young child being named. This video is going to give you an insight into the spirituality of life. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click the bell notification and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Let's watch the full video next to this one.
So we are going to explain in a very short while how did he take his life in his hand. Before I go further, I make this declaration over your life. Every one of you under the sound of my voice, so long you are here today, failure is a thing of the past. Trouble is a thing of the past. I say setback is a thing of the past. Whatever held you bound, it will let you go. Whatever held you bound, it will let you go. 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 Take your seat. The Bible says, verse 1, Jephthah was the son of a harlot. And Jephthah, the father and the mother, it was just a spark between them. They were not married. He was the firstborn, and he was the son of a harlot. Sir, the first thing Jephthah did was to handle his background. I must submit to everyone here. Life is spiritual. Life is spiritual. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 23. He said, the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. You must understand, the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his step. I heard somebody preaching the other day, God bless him, and he said there's no need for us to talk about foundational matters, no need for us to talk about background, because we are actually New Testament believers. We are believers. The Christ had paid the price for us. But there's a problem. I think people should study their Bible, because the New Testament actually opens with foundational matters. Matthew 1, this begat this. This begat. Some of you don't read that thing because you don't understand what it's talking about. Matthew chapter 1. This begat. This begat. This begat. This begat. This is trying to check the genealogy of Christ. Even Christ, his foundation was traced. Even Christ, they had to trace. He said, and these are 14 generations before Jesus. If the foundation of Christ could be traced, who are you? You must understand. You must begin to understand that the family, the background you come from matters a lot. Do you know? Oh my God, I wish I was talking to somebody. One time, a man called Nathan in 1 Kings chapter 1 verse 26, he met David. He said, David, there is a problem here. There is a man. He's your son. His name is called Adonijah. He said he has made himself king. He called Benaniah the son of Jehoiada. He was not there. He gathered everybody and made himself king. But there were 3 people that he didn't call: Benaniah the son of Jehoiada, Baruch the scribe, and me, Zadok the priest also, as he not called. And in verse 27 he said, where was that head? That the oil was there, the throne was there, but Benaniah the son of Jehoiada, Zadok the priest, he said, and myself, as he not called. So you should understand, there are people that carry weighty matters. There are people, by reason of the spirit, they determine who sits on the throne. Meaning, even if it's your son as a king, even if by inheritance is his portion, there are men that put people on sin. It's a spiritual matter. Listen, Elections in Canada are decided in the spirit before the physical. Keep joking. My father is a retired politician. He was in the army before. In the army, he became a politician. One day, my father said to me that when he was running for a political office, he was giving money to people. He gave money to a man. The man said, I'm not taking it. He gave money to the man. The man said, I'm not taking it. And he said he was so interested. Why is this man? The man was poor. He needed the money. So the man didn't take the money. So he went to the man's house and said, what have I done? The man said, if I take this thing from you, I have to help you. He said, in our world, no injustice. I can't take from you. My father said, I kept going there until one day he forced the man took it. The man said, you win the election. My father started laughing because you just have one vote. How can you decide the outcome of the election? The man said, we decided at night that we'll give it to you. My father said he was looking at the man like this. He said, we decided at night. He said, don't worry, every other person, your opponent will step down. We just called them and we told them to step down. How? Do you have their number? I said, don't worry, we called them. We told them to step down. My father said he woke up. One man stepped down. Another. It was a zero-party election. My father said he was the only one contending against himself. No opponent. He told me, he said, son, this thing is spiritual. There are people today, their marriage, something was done in the spirit, and in the physical, the marriage crashed. Something, you think some children who are under some spell, some attack, when the devil sees the future of a child who is going to become a blessing to the family, who is going to become a major prophet, who is going to become anointed, he fires an attack. That is why you see the child becoming autistic, and you look maternal, paternal. There's no trace of autism in the family. You see spectrum, you see HD. You ask yourself, how? It's because the enemy has seen where the child is going, what the child is going to become. So the enemy begins to fire arrows and attack, because life is spiritual. You must understand the spiritual. It is not in man to determine his ways, neither is he in a man that walketh to determine his step. So life is spiritual. Am I talking to somebody here? Jephthah handled his background. Everybody must come from somewhere. Address where you come from, because it can affect where you are going to. The Bible says in Luke chapter 19 from verse 29, in Mark chapter 11 from verse 1, in Matthew 21 from verse 1, and Jesus sent them into a city. He said, go into a town that is over against you. He said, you shall find a colt that was tied. He said, loose it and bring it. He said, while you are loosening the colt, the owners. So there are people and forces that claim they own you. We know the day you were born. We know. I wish I was communicating. I was in the city of Lagos some years ago to greet a friend. And he's a pastor. And I was about leaving for the airport. And he said, on the way to the airport, he said, can we stop over at a member's place who's dedicating at naming a child? So you just pray and all that. I said, but do I have to? He said, please, just let's just pass by. It's on the way to the airport. So we decided to stop by. It was a place called Lagos. And as we stopped by, I went with him. I had no role to play. Let me just stop by. He names the baby, prays, and walks away. But while I was there was a problem. It was not my fault. As I sat back, my eyes were open. I looked around. I saw 3 women wearing white with bags. In the realms of the spirit, I saw bags with them. And I was looking at the bags. I was looking. The pastor said, what's the problem? I said, not. He said, I only told you, let's pass by. Don't do anything here. I said, no problem. And I asked the Lord, what are those bags for? He said, they came to collect glory. So I was looking at everybody. I was wondering how they are going to take everyone's glory. The Lord said, no, the glory of the child. I said, bags for this child. So I told the pastor, I said, when you name the child, can I pray? He said, okay, just pray. Don't do anything. These people are Muslims. Don't do anything. Those women there, they are Muslims. Those men, they are Muslims. So they are family members to my my members, so don't do anything. I said, no problem. So as they finished them in the church, I said, there are 3 women here with bags. The pastor was pulling my trousers. He said, no. I said, either you leave now, or they will carry your corpse from this place. Either you leave now. While my eyes were still closed, they tapped themselves and they just started walking, and they walked out of the place. And the woman who was there was amazed and shocked and said, this man embarrassed my guest. When I told her, she said, I know them. They came for the baby. Life is spiritual. Civilization has killed our consciousness of spiritual matters. Am I talking to somebody here?
Thank you for watching the video to this far, and I believe that you have learned a great lesson from this video. Learn to be responsible for your life. Responsibility is a price of greatness, and if you feel to be responsible, you will be a liability. Comment below, I will be responsible. Watch the next video after this one, and see you in the next video.